Good day, everyone. I am Teacher Jules. I'll be your teacher for today. Let's review. For today, we will be focusing on the survey of Afro-Asian literature. So, for the first question, which of the following is a traditional form of Japanese poetry consisting of 3 lines with a 5-7-5 syllable pattern? Is it A. Sonnet, B. Haiku, C. Epic, or D. Ode? You have 10 seconds to answer. Time's up. Correct answer is letter B, haiku. So, a haiku, it is a traditional Japanese poetic form that consists of 3 lines with a syllable pattern of 5-7-5. Meanwhile, a sonnet, it is a 14-line poem with a specific rhyme scheme originating from Italy. However, an epic, it is a lengthy narrative poem, often detailing heroic deeds and events. And lastly, ode, it is a form of lyrical poetry, often praising something or someone. That's why letter B is the correct answer. Okay, for the second question, which Indian epic is considered the longest poem in the world? Is it A. Ramayana, B. Mahabharata, C. Vedas, or D. Upanishads? Your 10 seconds starts now. Time's up. The correct answer is letter B, Mahabharata. So, Mahabharata, it is the longest epic poem detailing the Kurukshetra war. Meanwhile, A. Ramayana, it is an epic poem but shorter than Mahabharata. How about Vedas? Vedas, it is an ancient sacred text, not a single epic poem. And lastly, Upanishads, it is a philosophical text exploring spiritual concepts. That's why our correct answer is letter B, Mahabharata. So now let's proceed to the third question. In discussing Rabindranath Tagore's poetry, a student notes the recurring theme of nature. What is the significance of nature in his works? A. Nature serves as a backdrop without deeper meaning. B. It symbolizes the divine and the interconnectedness of life. C. Nature represents chaos and unpredictability. Or D. It is used to criticize industrialization. Your timer starts now. Time's up. The correct answer is letter B. It symbolizes the divine and the interconnectedness of life. So Tagore often used nature to explore spiritual themes and the unity of existence. That's why it symbolizes the divine and the interconnectedness of life. Meanwhile, letter A, nature serves as a backdrop without deeper meaning. It neglects the symbolic depth in Tagore's use of nature. Then C, nature represents chaos and unpredictability. It contradicts the harmonious portrayal in his poetry. And D, it is used to criticize industrialization. While Tagore criticizes industrialization, nature in his work is more spiritual reflection. That's why our correct answer is letter B. It symbolizes the divine and the interconnectedness of life. Okay, let's proceed to question number 4. In the poem Africa by David Diop, what does the tree symbolize? A. Literal flora of the continent. B. Colonial oppression. C. A barrier to progress. Or D. The strength and resilience of African heritage. Your timer starts now. Alright, time's up. So the correct answer for question number 4 is letter D, the strength and resilience of African heritage. So this poem, the tree, it represents the deep roots and enduring strength of African culture and identity. Meanwhile, letter A, the literal flora of the continent, it overlooks the metaphorical significance of the poem. The B, colonial oppression, The poem addresses colonialism, but the tree symbolizes resistance, not oppression. And letter C, it is a barrier to progress. It misinterprets the symbol's positive connotation of the poem. That's why letter D is the correct answer, which is the tree symbolizes the strength and resilience of African heritage. Alright, we're going to the fifth question. So the question is, how does Confucianism influence Chinese literature? A. It emphasizes social harmony and moral duty. B. It promotes individualism and personal freedom. C. It encourages rebellion against authority. Or D. It focuses solely in religious rituals. Your timer starts now. Alright, time's up. The correct answer for this question is letter A. It emphasizes social harmony and moral duty. So, Confucianism stresses the importance of societal roles, ethics, and harmony, which are prevalent themes in Chinese literature. Meanwhile, letter B, it promotes individualism and personal freedom. It contradicts Confucian emphasis on societal roles. Letter C, it encourages rebellion against authority. It opposes the Confucian value of respecting authority. And letter D, it focuses solely on religious rituals. Confucianism is a more philosophy than a religion. That's why the correct answer for this question is letter A. It emphasizes social harmony and moral duty. Alright, for the sixth question, in the tale of Genji, how does Genji's character reflect Heian-era Japanese society? Is it A. He embodies the ideal samurai warrior? B. He represents the commoner's struggle? C. His romantic escapades highlight the era's courtly elegance and complexities? Or D. His actions critique Buddhist monastic life? Your timer starts now. Time's up. The correct answer for this question is letter C. His romantic escapades highlight the era's courtly elegance and complexities. So for this question, Genji's experiences mirror the aesthetics, politics, and social intricacies of the Heian court. Meanwhile, letter A, he embodies the ideal samurai warrior. Samurai culture rose after the Heian period. Letter B, he represents the commoner's struggle. Genji is an aristocrat, not a commoner. Take note of that. And letter D, his actions critique Buddhist monastic life. The novel focuses more on secular court life than religious critique. That's why the correct answer for this question is letter C. His romantic escapades highlight the era's courtly elegance and complexities. So, for the seventh question, which literary movement aimed to celebrate African heritage and counter colonial narratives? Is it A. Realism, B. Romanticism, C. Negritude, or D. Modernism? Your 10 seconds starts now. Time's up. The correct answer for this question is letter C, Negritude. So the Negritude movement was developed to affirm Black identity and culture, opposing colonialism and Eurocentrism. Meanwhile, realism, it focuses on depicting everyday life without idealization, not specifically tied to African heritage. On the other hand, Romanticism, it emphasizes emotion and individualism, not directly related to African identity. And Modernism, it is a broad movement that includes various styles and themes not specifically centered on African heritage. That's why negritude is the correct answer for this question. Alright, for the 8th question for this course, let's review. The question is, what is the primary purpose of African oral literature? A. To entertain with fictional stories. B. To preserve history, morals, and cultural identity. C. To promote colonial ideologies, or D. To teach foreign languages? Your timer starts now. Time's up. The correct answer for this question is letter B. To preserve history, morals, and cultural identity. So African oral literature serves as a vessel for transmitting cultural values, historical events, and moral lessons across generations. So A, to entertain with fictional stories, it is an entertainment component, but preservation of culture is paramount. Meanwhile, C, to promote colonial ideologies, it is contrary to the purpose of oral tradition. And letter D, to teach foreign languages, it is not the primary aim of oral literature. That's why the correct answer for this question is letter B, to preserve history, morals, and cultural identity. Okay, let's proceed to the 9th question. So, which genre of Afro-Asian literature is typically performed with music and rhythm? Is it A, short stories, B, poetry, C, chants, or D, folktales? Your 10 seconds starts now. Okay, time's up. For the right answer, letter C, chants. So chants, these are rhythmic expressions often performed with musical accompaniment. This is integral to many Afro-Asian cultural ceremonies. Meanwhile, A, short stories, it is typically prose narratives not performed with music. How about the poetry? The poetry, it can be rhythmic but not always performed with music. And letter D, folktales, this is narrative stories passed orally, not necessarily musical. That's why the correct answer for this question is letter C, chants. Finally, we're on the last question. So for the last question, what literary device is most commonly used in Afro-Asian poetry to convey emotion and tradition? A, parody, B, satire, C, imagery, or D, allegory? Your timer starts now. Time's up. The correct answer for this question is letter C, imagery. So imagery, it helps convey deep emotions and cultural experiences. Meanwhile, parody and satire, these are more common in humorous or critical writing. And letter D, allegory, it is used but less frequently than imagery. That's why the device or literary device that is most commonly used in Afro-Asian poetry is letter C, imagery. Alright, we're done with our Let's Review tackling about the survey of Afro-Asian literature. I hope you learned something for today's Let's Review. Thank you and goodbye everyone.